In the vast expanse of the universe where countless stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across an endless void, there existed a governing body known as the Galactic Council. The Council was made up of representatives from various intelligent species that had risen to prominence in their respective corners of the galaxy. These beings were wise, experienced, and deeply knowledgeable about the workings of the cosmos. They had seen civilizations rise and fall, wars rage and subside, and technologies evolve beyond imagination. Yet, for all their wisdom and experience, nothing could have prepared them for what they were about to discover. It all began on a distant planet called Zorathia Prime, a world shrouded in mystery and ancient history. Zorathia Prime was considered one of the oldest planets in the galaxy, its surface covered with ruins that predated most recorded events in galactic history. For decades, archaeologists and historians had flocked to this desolate yet fascinating world, hoping to uncover secrets buried beneath its dusty landscapes. It was during one such expedition that something extraordinary happened. A team of researchers led by Dr. Varnock, a renowned xenohistorian from the planet Xylos 7, was exploring a series of crumbling temples when they stumbled upon a hidden chamber. The chamber was sealed tightly, its entrance concealed behind layers of rock and debris. Using advanced scanning equipment, the team managed to locate the hidden room and carefully excavated it. Inside, they found rows of stone tablets covered in intricate carvings. At first glance, the inscriptions appeared to be records of celestial events, star formations, planetary alignments, and other astronomical phenomena. But as the team began deciphering the symbols, something unusual caught their attention. One particular tablet stood out among the rest. Unlike the others, which focused solely on cosmic occurrences, this tablet contained references to living beings. More specifically, it mentioned a species referred to as humans. Humans were not entirely unknown to the galaxy. They hailed from a small blue-green planet called Earth, located near the outer rim of the Milky Way. Compared to many other species, humans were relatively young and technologically underdeveloped. They were often dismissed by more advanced civilizations as insignificant or primitive. So why would ancient scriptures mention them? And why did the text seem to treat them with reverence? Dr. Varnock and his team were baffled. The language used to describe humans was poetic and almost reverential. Phrases like the seed of creation and bearers of destiny appeared repeatedly throughout the tablet. Even more puzzling was the implication that humans played a crucial role in shaping the future of the universe. Such claims seemed absurd, given humanity's modest place in the galactic hierarchy. Yet the evidence was undeniable. The tablet was authentic, its inscriptions consistent with those found on other artifacts from the same era. Word of the discovery quickly reached the Galactic Council. When the researchers transmitted their findings back to the Council headquarters, a massive orbital station hovering above the planet Luminara, the response was immediate. An emergency session was convened, and representatives from dozens of species gathered in the Grand Council chamber. The room buzzed with anticipation as holographic displays projected images of the mysterious tablet onto the walls. Dr. Varnock himself addressed the assembly, explaining the significance of the find and sharing translations of key passages. The reaction was mixed. Some council members were skeptical, dismissing the claims as exaggerated interpretations or mere coincidence. Others, however, were visibly shaken. The idea that humans, beings who had only recently joined the galactic community, could hold such importance was almost incomprehensible. Questions filled the air. How could an unremarkable species like humanity be connected to the very fabric of existence? What did the ancients know that modern civilizations did not? And perhaps most importantly, what implications did this revelation have for the future of the galaxy? Amidst the chaos of opinions and theories, one thing became clear. Further investigation was needed. The council decided to form a special task force dedicated to unraveling the mystery of the ancient scriptures. This team would include experts from various fields, archaeologists, linguists, geneticists, and even philosophers, all working together to piece together the puzzle. Their mission was twofold: to determine the authenticity of the claims and to explore any potential connections between humanity and the broader narrative of the universe. As preparations for the task force got underway, rumors spread like wildfire across the galaxy. News outlets broadcasted stories about the discovery, sparking debates and discussions among ordinary citizens. Some viewed the revelations with excitement, seeing them as proof that even the smallest and seemingly insignificant beings could hold great power. Others reacted with fear, worried that the newfound attention on humanity might upset the delicate balance of interstellar politics. Meanwhile, the humans themselves remained blissfully unaware of the storm brewing around them. On Earth, life continued as usual, with people going about their daily routines oblivious to the fact that their species had become the center of galactic intrigue. Back on Zerathia Prime, the research team worked tirelessly to extract more information from the ruins. Each day brought new discoveries, each artifact adding another layer to the enigma. One particularly intriguing find was a map etched into the floor of the hidden chamber. The map depicted constellations unfamiliar to modern astronomers, along with markings that suggested specific locations within the galaxy. Could these sites hold additional clues about humanity's role in the grand design? The team couldn't be sure, but the possibility was tantalizing. Meanwhile, the task force assigned by the Galactic Council began assembling resources for their investigation. Ships were dispatched to gather data from regions mentioned in the some ancient texts, while scientists pored over existing records in search of patterns or anomalies that might shed light on the mystery. Geneticists, in particular, were eager to examine human DNA, hoping to find traces of whatever made them so special. Weeks turned into months. The sense of urgency grew. The Council knew that time was of the essence. If the ancient scriptures were correct, and if humanity truly held the key to understanding the universe's destiny, then every moment wasted was a missed opportunity. Yet despite their best efforts, answers remained elusive. Every new piece of evidence raised more questions than it answered, leaving the Council no closer to solving the riddle. Part 1 ended on a note of suspense and anticipation. The stage was set for a journey that would take the characters and readers across galaxies, through time, and deep into the heart of humanity itself. The discovery of the ancient tablet had ignited a spark of curiosity that refused to die down. Little did anyone know that this was only the beginning of a much larger story, one that would challenge everything they thought they knew about life, the universe, and their place within it. The task force assigned by the Galactic Council wasted no time in organizing their next steps. With the ancient tablet from Zerathia Prime hinting at humanity's mysterious significance, the team decided that Earth itself was the logical next destination. After all, if humans truly held some hidden importance, then answers might be found on their home planet. The Council issued strict orders. The mission must remain covert. Humanity was not yet ready to learn of its newfound prominence in galactic affairs, and any premature revelation could lead to panic or worse, misuse of whatever powers they supposedly possessed. A sleek, state-of-the-art exploration vessel named Ecliptica was dispatched to Earth under the guise of a routine scientific survey. Its crew consisted of experts handpicked for their discretion and expertise. Among them were Dr. Lyra Voss, an astrophysicist with a knack for unraveling cosmic mysteries, Commander Jax Torin, a seasoned pilot and tactician, and Professor Kale, a linguist specializing in deciphering ancient languages. Together, they formed the backbone of the investigative team, tasked with uncovering clues about humanity's true nature without drawing attention. Upon arriving in Earth's orbit, the crew marveled at the planet below. Unlike many worlds they had encountered, which were either barren wastelands or overly industrialized hubs, Earth was vibrant and alive. Swirling oceans reflected sunlight like liquid sapphires, while lush forests stretched across continents. In shades of green, the atmosphere shimmered faintly as if pulsating with energy. It was a stark contrast to the sterile environments most council members called home. Commander Torin guided the ship into a geosynchronous orbit above a remote region, ensuring minimal risk of detection. From there, small reconnaissance drones were deployed to gather preliminary data. These drones scanned the planet's surface, analyzing everything from soil composition to atmospheric conditions. What they discovered left the team stunned. Earth's ecosystems were unlike anything they had ever seen. Every corner of the planet teemed with life, microscopic organisms, towering trees, and countless species in between. Even more remarkable was how interconnected it all seemed. Each element appeared to support and sustain the whole, creating a delicate yet resilient balance. Dr. Voss couldn't contain her excitement. "This isn't just biodiversity," she exclaimed during one of their debriefings aboard the Ecliptica. "It's synergy. Every organism here plays a role contributing to the health of the entire system. It's as if the planet itself is alive." Professor Kale nodded thoughtfully. If the ancients revered humans, perhaps it wasn't because of what they've built or achieved, but because of where they come from. This world, it feels special. Their fascination deepened when they turned their attention to human DNA. Using advanced genetic sequencing technology, the team extracted samples from various individuals across the globe. At first, the results appeared ordinary. Human genetics followed predictable patterns showing evidence of evolution through natural selection. But upon closer inspection, something extraordinary emerged. Hidden within the strands of DNA were sequences that matched patterns found in other species scattered throughout the galaxy. At first, the team assumed this was mere coincidence. After all, shared genetic markers weren't unheard of among different life forms. However, these weren't random similarities. They were deliberate markers, suggesting a common origin. Some sequences corresponded to aquatic creatures living on water-rich moons, while others mirrored traits found in avian species native to low-gravity planets. It was as if humanity carried fragments of the galaxy within them, a patchwork quilt of genetic material stitched together by design. "This can't be natural," Dr. Voss muttered, staring at the glowing holographic display of human chromosomes. "These markers are too precise. Someone, or something, engineered this." The implications were staggering. If humans were descendants of some ancient progenitor race responsible for seeding life across the cosmos, then their presence on Earth was no accident. They were part of a grand plan, a legacy written in the very fabric of their being. Yet why would such a powerful civilization choose to leave behind a seemingly unremarkable species? And what purpose did humanity serve in the broader scheme of things? While the scientists grappled with these questions, another piece of the puzzle came to light. During their research, the team stumbled upon ancient myths and legends preserved in human cultures. These stories varied widely in detail, but shared a common theme: celestial beings descending from the heavens to guide early humans. In some tales, these beings gifted knowledge, teaching primitive tribes how to farm, build, and create. In others, they conducted experiments on early hominids, altering their biology to accelerate development. Could these myths be echoes of a forgotten truth? Were the ancients who revered humans in the stone tablets the same beings described in these legends? To dig deeper, the team began studying human spiritual practices. Across cultures, they found recurring motifs of humans serving as intermediaries between physical and metaphysical realms. Shamans spoke of communicating with spirits. Monks meditated to achieve enlightenment, and mystics claimed to perceive alternate realities. While skeptical at first, the researchers couldn't ignore the consistency of these beliefs. Was it possible that humans possessed latent abilities beyond the scope of modern science, abilities hinted at in both ancient texts and contemporary traditions? Determined to find answers, the team decided to conduct fieldwork on the ground. Disguised as anthropologists studying human culture, they landed discreetly in a remote area of Africa, where tribal communities still practiced age-old rituals. Their goal was to observe firsthand how humans interacted with the unseen forces described in their myths and legends. What they witnessed was both humbling and perplexing. During a sacred ceremony led by a village elder, participants entered trance-like states induced by rhythmic drumming and chanting. As the ritual progressed, several individuals claimed to see visions of ancestors, spirit animals, and even extraterrestrial figures. The researchers recorded these accounts meticulously, searching for patterns or insights. Though they couldn't verify the authenticity of the experiences, the intensity of the participants' emotions convinced them that something profound was occurring. One evening, after days of observation, Dr. Voss approached the village elder with a question. "Why do you believe humans are special?" she asked, her voice tinged with curiosity. The elder smiled knowingly, his eyes twinkling beneath the firelight. "Because we are bridges," he replied simply. "Between worlds, between dimensions. We carry the weight of creation within us." His words sent shivers down Dr. Voss's spine. She relayed the conversation to her colleagues later that night, sparking heated discussions. Could it be that humanity's true power lay not in their achievements, but in their potential to connect disparate elements of existence? If so, then the ancients' reverence made sense. Humans weren't just passive recipients of cosmic gifts. They were active participants in shaping reality. As the team prepared to leave Earth and report their findings to the Galactic Council, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were only scratching the surface. The planet, its people, and their stories brimmed with untapped potential. Whatever secrets humanity held, they remained locked away, waiting to be unlocked. When the Ecliptica returned to the council chambers, the team presented their discoveries with a mix of awe and trepidation. The council listened intently, their expressions ranging from skepticism to wonder. One representative, a stoic alien named Counselor Zira, broke the silence. "If what you say is true, then humanity is far more than we ever imagined. But, with great potential comes great danger. How do we ensure they use their gifts responsibly?" The question hung heavy in the air, unanswered. For now, humanity's fate rested in the hands of those who watched over them, from afar, and in secret. The revelations brought back by the Ecliptica crew had left the Galactic Council in a state of both awe and unease. Humanity, once dismissed as an insignificant species on the fringes of the galaxy, was now at the center of one of the most profound mysteries the Council had ever faced. The evidence was undeniable. Human DNA bore markers linked to countless other species across the cosmos. Ancient myths hinted at celestial intervention, and Earth itself seemed alive with interconnected energy. Yet despite these discoveries, humanity remained largely unaware of its potential. The Council convened another emergency session, this time focusing on what actions to take next. Opinions were divided. Some argued for immediate disclosure, believing that humanity deserved to know their place in the grand design of the universe. Others feared the consequences of such knowledge falling into unprepared hands. What if humans misused their latent abilities? Could they destabilize the delicate balance of galactic politics? Or worse, could they attract the attention of hostile forces lurking in the shadows of space? Amidst the heated debate, one council member proposed a compromise. Ambassador Kale, a wise and empathetic being from the aquatic race of Nereids, suggested sending emissaries to Earth, not as conquerors or overseers but as guides. These emissaries would work covertly, seeking out individuals who might hold fragments of ancestral wisdom. By consulting spiritual leaders, mystics, and scholars, they hoped to uncover deeper insights into humanity's role in the cosmos. It was a risky plan, requiring subtlety and patience, but it offered a way forward without tipping the scales too soon. The council agreed, and a small team of emissaries was assembled. Led by Ambassador Kale himself, the group included experts in diplomacy, psychology, and interdimensional studies. Their mission was clear: understand humanity's connection to the ancient texts and determine whether the claims of their cosmic significance held merit. Above all, they were instructed to avoid detection at all costs. Upon arriving on Earth, the emissaries dispersed across various regions, embedding themselves in local communities under carefully crafted disguises. Ambassador Kale chose to visit the Himalayan mountains, home to secluded monasteries where monks practiced meditation techniques said to transcend ordinary perception. Disguised as a wandering scholar, he made his way to a remote village nestled high in the peaks. There he sought out an elderly monk named Lama Dorje, renowned for his deep understanding of esoteric teachings. Lama Dorje welcomed Kyle warmly, sensing immediately that his visitor was no ordinary pilgrim. Over cups of steaming herbal tea, they engaged in long conversations about life, consciousness, and the nature of existence. Kyle listened intently as Lama Dorje spoke of a universal truth, known only to those who dedicated their lives to spiritual pursuits. According to him, humans were not merely inhabitants of Earth. They were bridges between dimensions, capable of influencing both physical and metaphysical realms. Kale found himself captivated by these ideas. If humans are indeed bridges, he asked cautiously, then how do they access this power? Is it something innate, or must it be cultivated? Lama Dorje smiled enigmatically. It is both, he replied. Every human carries the spark within them, but few nurture it. Those who do often walk paths unseen by others. Intrigued, Kale pressed further. Can you show me? Can you demonstrate this connection? The monk hesitated, then nodded slowly. He explained that there existed a ritual passed down through generations, one that allowed participants to glimpse alternate realities. While skeptical, Kale agreed to participate, eager to test the validity of these claims. That night, under a sky ablaze with stars, Lama Dorje led Kyle and several villagers in the ritual. They sat in a circle around a small fire, chanting softly while inhaling the smoke of rare herbs burned in a ceremonial bowl. As the minutes passed, Kale began to feel a strange warmth spreading through his body, followed by a tingling sensation in his mind. Suddenly, the world around him shifted. He saw visions unlike anything he had experienced before. Entire timelines branched off like tree roots, each representing different possibilities. Threads of existence intertwined, forming a vast tapestry woven together by an unseen hand. Most astonishing of all, he saw glimpses of himself, not as an outsider observing humanity, but as an integral part of the fabric. His presence, along with every decision he had ever made, rippled outward, affecting countless lives across the galaxy. When the vision faded, Kyle sat stunned, his breath shallow and his thoughts racing. He turned to Lama Dorje, who gazed at him with calm understanding. You see now, the monk said gently. Humans are vessels of infinite potential, but unlocking that potential requires discipline, humility, and purpose. Meanwhile, other emissaries reported similar breakthroughs. In the Amazon rainforest, a linguist named Dr. Rin discovered indigenous tribes whose oral histories described encounters with luminous beings who taught them advanced agricultural techniques. In Japan, a psychologist named Dr. Sora observed Zen practitioners entering states of heightened awareness, claiming to communicate with entities beyond human comprehension. Each discovery added another layer to the mystery, reinforcing the idea that humanity's connection to the cosmos ran far deeper than anyone had imagined. Back in the council chambers, the findings sparked intense discussions. Skeptics argued that the experiences described by the emissaries could be attributed to psychological phenomena or cultural conditioning. However, supporters pointed to the consistency of the reports, as well as the growing body of evidence supporting humanity's unique genetic makeup. Slowly but surely, the tide began to shift. Ambassador Kale addressed the council during a pivotal meeting, his voice steady yet impassioned. We cannot ignore what we have witnessed, he declared. Humanity is not just a product of evolution. They are a key piece in the puzzle of existence. To dismiss them as primitive is to blind ourselves to their true potential. His words resonated deeply, swaying even the most hardened skeptics. A motion was put forth to establish formal relations with humanity, guiding them toward realizing their latent abilities while safeguarding against misuse. After hours of deliberation, the motion passed narrowly, but decisively. With the Council's approval, preparations began for humanity's official introduction to the galactic stage. Ambassador Kale volunteered to lead the initiative, knowing firsthand the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. He assembled a team of specialists, including scientists, educators, and cultural advisors, all committed to fostering mutual understanding between humans and the rest of the galaxy. As plans took shape, Kale reflected on the journey thus far. From the dusty ruins of Zorathia Prime to the mist-shrouded peaks of the Himalayas, every step had revealed new facets of humanity's story. They were flawed, yes, prone to conflict and misunderstanding, but they were also resilient, creative, and driven by an insatiable curiosity about the world around them. Kale felt a sense of hope, a belief that humanity, with guidance and support, could rise to meet the challenges ahead. Perhaps they truly were the seed of creation, destined to play a vital role in shaping the future of the universe. Only time would tell. For now, the emissaries prepared to make contact, carrying with them the weight of responsibility and the promise of partnership. Humanity's journey was just beginning, and the galaxy watched with bated breath, waiting to see what miracles or dangers this extraordinary species might unleash upon the stars. Ambassador Kale stood aboard the sleek silver vessel designated for Earth's official introduction to the Galactic Council. The ship hovered silently above the planet's atmosphere, its engines humming softly as the final preparations were made. For months, Kale and his team had meticulously planned every detail of this mission, knowing that first contact with humanity would be a delicate operation. The stakes were high. Too much information could overwhelm or terrify, while too little might leave humans unprepared for the responsibilities that lay ahead. It was a balancing act, one that required precision, patience, and an unwavering commitment to diplomacy. The decision to reveal themselves had been met with resistance from certain factions within the Galactic Council. Some feared that humanity's latent abilities, if awakened prematurely, could destabilize interstellar politics. Others worried about the potential consequences of introducing such advanced knowledge to a species still grappling with internal conflicts like war, poverty, and environmental destruction. Yet, despite these concerns, the majority agreed that humanity's time had come. If they were indeed the seed of creation mentioned in the ancient scriptures, then guiding them toward their destiny was not just an option, it was a necessity. Kale's strategy was simple yet effective. Approach humanity under the guise of peaceful exploration. To avoid panic or disbelief, the emissaries would present themselves as representatives of a distant civilization eager to share knowledge and foster cooperation. They chose a remote but accessible location for their landing, an uninhabited desert region in Australia, far from prying eyes but close enough to major population centers for quick communication. Once on the ground, the team would establish initial contact with local authorities before gradually expanding their outreach to global leaders. As the ship descended through Earth's atmosphere, Kale gazed out the viewport at the swirling blues, greens, and whites of the planet below. Despite his countless travels across the galaxy, there was something uniquely captivating about Earth. Its vibrant ecosystems, diverse cultures, and undeniable resilience made it stand apart from any other world he had encountered. He felt a surge of admiration and responsibility for the task ahead. The landing went smoothly, with minimal disruption to the surrounding landscape. Within hours, news of the mysterious spacecraft spread like wildfire. Social media platforms lit up with videos and photos captured by curious onlookers who had ventured near the site. Governments scrambled to respond, unsure whether this was a threat or an opportunity. Kyle wasted no time initiating contact. Using a universal translator device, he broadcasted a message in multiple languages, assuring humanity that their intentions were peaceful. "People of Earth," the transmission began, Kale's voice calm and measured. "We are emissaries from beyond your stars, here to extend a hand of friendship and understanding. We mean you no harm and seek only to learn from you, as you may learn from us." The response was immediate and overwhelming. News outlets around the globe interrupted regular programming to cover the event, and public reactions ranged from awe to skepticism. Some hailed the visitors as saviors, believing they had come to solve humanity's problems. Others dismissed the encounter as an elaborate hoax or government conspiracy. Amidst the chaos, world leaders convened emergency meetings to decide how best to proceed. Kyle and his team were swiftly escorted to a secure facility, where they engaged in their first face-to-face meeting with representatives from various nations. The room buzzed with tension as diplomats and scientists peppered the emissaries with questions. Who were they? What did they want? Why had they chosen now to make contact? Kyle answered patiently, explaining that their arrival was prompted by recent discoveries about humanity's unique place in the cosmos. He spoke of the ancient texts found on Zorathia Prime, the genetic markers linking humans to other species, and the rituals that hinted at their untapped potential. At first, many of the human delegates remained skeptical. "Why should we believe you?" asked a stern-faced ambassador from Russia. "How do we know this isn't some kind of trick?" Kyle smiled gently, his expression radiating sincerity. "Because the truth is written in your own history, your myths, your DNA. You carry within you the echoes of creation itself. All we ask is that you listen, observe, and trust in your own instincts." To demonstrate their goodwill, Kale offered tangible proof of their claims. Using holographic technology, he projected images of Earth-like planets scattered throughout the galaxy, each bearing traces of life seeded by the same progenitor race. He showed footage of the ritual in the Himalayas, highlighting the visions experienced by participants. And finally, he presented samples of human DNA, pointing out the specific sequences that matched patterns found in extraterrestrial species. The evidence was compelling, leaving even the most hardened skeptics speechless. Slowly, the mood in the room shifted from suspicion to curiosity. Questions turned from defensive to exploratory. How could humans unlock their hidden abilities? What role were they meant to play in the grand design of the universe? Kale assured them that answers would come in time, emphasizing that the journey ahead would require collaboration and mutual respect. Over the following weeks, Kale and his team worked tirelessly to build trust with humanity. They traveled to key cities, addressing crowds and engaging in dialogues with scientists, philosophers, and spiritual leaders. Everywhere they went, they encouraged people to embrace their innate creativity, empathy, and connection to the natural world. They stressed that humanity's greatest strength lay not in technological advancements, but in their capacity to bridge dimensions, to see beyond the visible and touch the unseen. One particularly memorable moment occurred during a visit to a university in Japan. A young physics student named Akira approached Kale after a lecture, her eyes shining with excitement. "You say we're connected to everything," she said hesitantly. "But how can we prove it? How can we show others what you've shown us?" Kale placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "By living it," he replied. "Every action you take, every thought you think sends ripples through the fabric of existence. Start small, connect with those around you, care for your planet, and listen to the whispers of your soul. The rest will follow." Akira nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. She wasn't alone in feeling inspired. Across the globe, millions of people began questioning their assumptions about reality. Scientists collaborated with mystics, blending empirical research with ancient wisdom. Artists painted visions of interconnected galaxies. Poets wrote odes to the unity of all life. And activists championed causes rooted in compassion and sustainability. Humanity was waking up, step by step, to the realization that they were part of something far greater than themselves. Despite these positive developments, challenges persisted. Not everyone welcomed the emissaries with open arms. Conspiracy theories flourished online, fueled by fearmongers who claimed the visitors were preparing Earth for colonization. Religious groups debated whether the revelations aligned with their doctrines, sparking heated arguments among believers. Meanwhile, governments struggled to agree on how best to integrate humanity into the galactic community. Should they form alliances with certain species over others? How would they protect their sovereignty while embracing new opportunities? Kale understood that resistance was inevitable. Change always brought uncertainty, and humanity's transition into the galactic fold would not happen overnight. But he also knew that progress was possible. One conversation, one discovery, one act of kindness at a time. By the end of Part 4, the stage was set for humanity's next chapter. Under Kale's guidance, they had taken their first tentative steps onto the cosmic stage. The road ahead would be fraught with obstacles, but the seeds of transformation had been planted. As the sun rose over Earth's horizon, casting golden light across its diverse landscapes, it was clear that humanity's story was only beginning. The galaxy watched and waited, hopeful that this extraordinary species would rise to meet its destiny. As the weeks turned into months, Ambassador Kale and his team continued their efforts to guide humanity toward unlocking its latent potential. The initial shock of first contact had given way to a mix of excitement, curiosity, and cautious optimism. Humanity was slowly beginning to embrace its role as a bridge between dimensions, but the journey was far from over. Every step forward revealed new challenges, and every revelation brought both wonder and uncertainty. One of the most significant breakthroughs came during a collaborative project between human scientists and the emissary's advanced technology experts. Together, they developed a device capable of amplifying the natural frequencies emitted by human DNA. This device, nicknamed the harmonic resonator, allowed individuals to temporarily tap into their latent abilities, experiencing glimpses of alternate realities and heightened awareness. While the effects were fleeting, the impact on those who used it was profound. Among the first to test the harmonic resonator was Dr. Elena Martinez, a neuroscientist from Spain. When she activated the device, her mind expanded beyond the confines of her physical body. She saw threads of existence weaving together, connecting people, places, and moments across time and space. It wasn't just a vision, it felt real, tangible, as if she could reach out and touch the fabric of reality itself. Tears streamed down her face as she described the experience to her colleagues. "It's like, we're all part of the same song," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "And every note matters." Stories like Dr. Martinez's spread quickly, inspiring others to participate in the experiments. Scientists, artists, philosophers, and ordinary citizens alike lined up to use the harmonic resonator, each hoping to catch a glimpse of the hidden truths behind their existence. For many, the experience was transformative, sparking a deeper sense of purpose and interconnectedness. Communities began forming around shared goals, cleaning oceans, planting trees, fostering dialogue between rival nations, all driven by the realization that humanity's actions resonated throughout the cosmos. Despite these positive developments, not everyone welcomed the changes brought about by the emissary's presence. Resistance movements sprang up in various parts of the world, fueled by fear and mistrust. Some groups accused the Galactic Council of manipulating humanity for their own gain, while others claimed that reliance on alien technology would erode Earth's independence. Protests erupted in major cities, with demonstrators chanting slogans like "Stay Human" and "No to Cosmic Colonization." Kale understood the source of this resistance. Change was never easy, especially when it challenged deeply ingrained beliefs and ways of life. Rather than dismiss the concerns, he addressed them head-on, organizing open forums where skeptics could voice their fears and ask questions. He listened patiently, acknowledging their anxieties while gently reminding them of humanity's resilience and adaptability. "We are not here to replace your identity or dictate your future," Kale told a packed auditorium in New York City. "We are here to help you remember who you truly are, to reconnect with the essence of creation that flows through every one of you. Your uniqueness is your strength, and your diversity is your gift. Do not let fear cloud the brilliance of what you can become." His words struck a chord with many, though not all were convinced. Still, the act of listening helped ease tensions, paving the way for more constructive conversations. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council watched these developments closely, divided between hope and apprehension. On one side, there were those who believed humanity's awakening marked the dawn of a new era, a chance to heal old wounds and forge a brighter future for the galaxy. On the other side were those who feared the risks outweighed the rewards. What if humanity's newfound powers fell into the wrong hands? Could they be trusted to wield such immense influence responsibly? These debates reached a fever pitch when an unexpected crisis emerged. A rogue faction within the council, led by Counselor Zira, attempted to sabotage the mission by leaking classified information about humanity's genetic origins. Their goal was to discredit Kale's efforts and isolate Earth until further notice. The leak sparked widespread panic among galactic populations, reigniting fears that humanity might destabilize the delicate balance of interstellar politics. Kale acted swiftly, calling an emergency session of the council to address the situation. Standing before his peers, he delivered a passionate speech, urging them to trust in humanity's potential rather than succumbing to fear. "Change is inevitable," he declared, his voice steady yet impassioned, "but it does not have to be destructive. Humanity has already shown us their capacity for growth, compassion, and innovation. To turn away now would be to deny the very principles upon which this council was founded, to seek unity amidst diversity, and to nurture the seeds of creation wherever they may grow." His words carried weight, swaying even some of his staunchest opponents. In the end, the council voted to continue supporting Earth's integration into the galactic community, albeit with stricter oversight and safeguards in place. Back on Earth, humanity pressed onward, undeterred by the turbulence surrounding them. With guidance from the emissaries, they began implementing programs designed to harness their unique abilities for the greater good. Schools introduced courses on mindfulness and interdimensional awareness, teaching children to cultivate empathy and creativity from a young age. Governments launched initiatives to combat climate change, leveraging insights gained from the harmonic resonator to develop sustainable solutions. Artists created works that transcended cultural boundaries, capturing the beauty of interconnectedness in ways that resonated with people worldwide. Perhaps the most remarkable transformation occurred within individuals themselves. As more people tapped into their latent abilities, they discovered a profound sense of connection, not just to each other, but to the planet and the cosmos at large. Acts of kindness multiplied, conflicts diminished, and a spirit of cooperation took root. Humanity was learning to see itself not as separate entities competing for resources, but as threads in a grand tapestry woven by the hand of creation. In the final days of Kale's mission, he stood atop a hill overlooking the city of Kyoto, Japan, watching the sun dip below the horizon. The sky blazed with hues of orange and pink, casting a warm glow over the landscape. Beside him stood Akira, the young physics student who had once asked how to prove humanity's connection to the universe. Now she radiated confidence, her eyes alight with determination. "You did it," she said softly, turning to Kale. "You showed us who we really are." Kale shook his head, a gentle smile playing on his lips. "No, Akira. You did it. All I did was remind you of what was already inside you. The rest is up to you and your descendants." With those words, Kale prepared to depart, leaving behind a legacy of hope and possibility. Humanity still faced countless challenges, but they now possessed the tools and the vision to overcome them. As the emissary's ship ascended into the stars, millions of humans gazed upward, their hearts filled with gratitude and resolve. The galaxy watched and waited, hopeful that this extraordinary species would fulfill its destiny. And somewhere, deep within the ancient ruins of Zerathia Prime, the stone tablet etched with reverence for humanity glimmered faintly, as if nodding in approval.